residents of Freedom Village. This is John Bruner, your Executive Director. Welcome to the Tuesday, May 19th, Tuesday Talk. Starting off today's talk, we'll have Greg Welch here, the Director of Resident Services. He's going to talk about the proper use of your mask, the face mask, as well as talk to you about the availability of more masks here for residents that may need them. Next up, we're going to have Jeremy Turpin, our Dining Services Director. He's going to talk about our special menu for this upcoming Memorial Day weekend. And then last but not least, Martha Bowman is here from Resident Services. She's going to talk about some of the great activities we have coming up, as well as the Residents Memorial Day program. Hello. I want to give you all an update on associate testings. In one of my recent letters to you, I spoke about how we're taking a test-based approach to battling the coronavirus here at Freedom Village. So in our health center, we've arranged with Tower Health, which is Brandywine Hospital's corporate entity, but with Tower Health Urgent Care to be able to test all of our associates that work in the health center. The CDC recommends that's the best approach to really get in front of the coronavirus. So we've contracted with Tower Health Urgent Care in Fraser, where they've agreed to test all of our associates that work in our health center. We're really excited that they've agreed to do this for our associates, and we really think that's the right thing to do. This is some recommendation that the CDC as well as the health department put out, that if there's an availability of test kits, that this is the best approach in a skilled nursing home as well as a personal care home. So Tower Health was gracious enough to finally be able to offer that to us, and they said they did have an ample enough supply of test kits. So that we're moving forward with this strategy, and we're really hoping that this is going to give us better information to manage the asymptomatic among us that could potentially be spreading the coronavirus.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeremy, the Director of Dining Services here at Freedom Village. Please be on the lookout for our Memorial Day menu that's going to be coming up. It's just a week away. And we're going to have some traditional favorites for the holiday, and then also some of Chef Ray has some feature items there as well. So we're looking forward to the day, and I know Kim is going to have some special instructions for her servers too when they come to your door. So we are excited for that day. Also, we filmed a Q&A with Chef Ray and with Kim today, so you should see that this week. We just dive into some of the details of dining, what's going on right now, answer some of your questions that we're seeing on the feedback forms. So yeah, we're hoping that will bring some clarity to a lot of the questions. If there's anything that you want to hear us talk about, or if there's any questions that you do have, please feel free to jot them down on a comment card or on a feedback form, and when we get those, it'll help predict our agenda for the next Q&A that we do. All right, we miss everybody, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, this is Greg Welch, the Director of Resident Services. I'm here today to talk to you about masks. Not this kind of mask, but masks that can actually save your life. So the question I get periodically is, how should I really wear a face covering? So the one thing whenever you're choosing a face covering is that it should be made out of cloth. It should fit snugly but comfortably around your face. It should secure with either ties or an ear loop, something that would actually go around your ear, and include multiple layers of fabric. It should allow for breathing without restriction. And I think we've all experienced that. It's maybe a little bit difficult to breathe, so there's always going to be some restriction, but it shouldn't really restrict your breathing to the point where it is uncomfortable. Be able to be laundered and machine dried without damaging the actual shape of the mask. So you can actually make your mask from household items. You don't necessarily need to have a fancy store-bought mask or something that was actually sewn, but they are readily available as well. So normally around 12:30 during the day, I made a video how to make your own masks. So they can be made out of the bandanas that Freedom Village provided you. So those masks are perfect. So the CDC recommends wearing a cloth face covering in public settings where other social distancing measures are difficult. So in places that I can think of like that would be maybe in the grocery store, or in a public area, maybe even a pharmacy, to where it's almost impossible to social distance. We all know that social distancing allows 6 feet between you and the next person. And sometimes whenever you get into a smaller store, that may be really difficult to do. So that's where the mask comes into play. The CDC also advises the use of simple cloth face coverings to slow the spread of the virus and help people who may have the virus who do not know they actually have the virus from actually transmitting the virus. So that's one of the difficult things about COVID-19 is it takes a long time for it to actually show that you actually have the virus. So you could have it in theory up to 12, 13, 14 days without actually even realizing that you have it. So the cloth covering will prevent you from spreading it to your neighbor. Cloth face coverings fashioned from household items can be made at home from common materials at a low cost and can be used as additional voluntary public health measures. So let's talk about different types of masks. So I do have props. So there's a regular, like a surgical mask, okay? And the proper way to put a mask on, let's talk about that a little bit. The proper way to put a mask on is to not touch the front, not to touch your face, not to touch your eyes with your hands. So ideally what you would like to do is wash your hands first, put your mask on, and then to take your mask off, you're going to also follow those same precautions. You're going to take the mask off without ever touching your eyes or your face with your hands. So that is the ideal thing. There's all kinds of different masks that you can get. There are masks that are homemade sewn, beautiful masks that we have. They actually fit over your nose and mouth, just like the other ones. There's also this style, which we had kind of early on. And again, that fits over your whole face and it tucks right over your ears. And then, so the most important thing is that you do wear a mask, and it's really important that you keep your nose and mouth covered, because that's the way that you can actually transmit the virus. So with a mask like this, you want to definitely keep everything covered. You don't want to ever go around with your nose being exposed or your mouth, because that's really not helping anything. So one of the questions that I got the other day was, should the face coverings be washed? So any of these face coverings that I have here, you certainly can wash them very easily. You can actually put them in the washing machine or hand wash them with a washing product like Tide. The CDC recommends actually washing them in the washer. If you do wash some of the masks like this that have the ribbons on them, just be really careful, because they can tangle up if you're washing more than one mask at a time. So, and again, whenever you go to take the masks off, be very careful not to touch your face. And right before you go to take the mask off, I would recommend, again, washing your hands before you take the mask off, just to reiterate that. Okay, so now we have a fun quiz. Okay, I have Man's Best Friend who is helping me with a quiz. Okay, so now time for a fun quiz. So if we look at Man's Best Friend, let's take a look at these doggies. The doggies on the bottom are not wearing their mask properly. Neither is the dog on the top right, because all three of them don't have their noses covered or their mouths totally. But the dog on the top left is doing the right thing. Both his nose and mouth are covered. And little bit of information about masks. As we head down this final trek of being quarantined in our homes. Well, not necessarily, what's the proper term, John? Sorry. Lockdown. Okay. As we head down this final stage of kind of a lockdown to where we are staying in our community, wearing masks, just a little bit of information to help you choose the right mask, to wear the right mask, and remember to wash it. So I hope this was helpful to you all, and I wish you a great day. Thanks much.
Hi guys, it's Martha. I wanted to update you on a couple of things going on in resident programs. The first is the Memorial Day video that we're working on. So that will be coming out on Monday the 25th on Memorial Day. So take a look at channel 1970 for that. It will be playing several times throughout the day. I also wanted to touch on the June walking competition. So we're going to be calling this Between a Walk and a Hard Pace. Right now there's not a whole lot going on, but the weather is getting so much nicer, and I see a lot of you outside walking. So We want to take this opportunity to get a little competitive and see who can do the most steps for the month of June. If you have an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, that's a great option. We're going to ask that each resident who's participating will give us their steps every week so we can tally those up. And we're going to have prizes for the first, second, and third place winners at the end of the month. But if you need a pedometer, we are going to be making an order. So please call the activities department so we can place your order. And just a friendly reminder to all of our men out there, I hope you all are growing those beards. We're gonna have a competition when we're all finished here with our quarantine and see who's grown the best beard. So happy growing, and we can't wait to see all of those furry faces. And that's all I have. Thanks so much.
Thank you all for joining us for today's Tuesday Talk. As I say each and every week, we really do miss you. We look forward to the day when we can start our phased reopening. I did provide you with a letter probably about a week ago talking about the fact that LCS is working on a phased reopening approach, but we will probably be the last to open as we were the first to close, because as you know, seniors are the most vulnerable population when it comes to the coronavirus and COVID-19. But we have plans in place. They will be stepped with certain specific measurable items in regards to the number of infections in the state, our local county, as well as infections here at Freedom Village. And I'll be sharing more details with you about that soon. But I wanted to let you know we are planning for the day when we will slowly begin to open up Freedom Village again, and we'll be able to see each other and spend more time together just like we used to. So thank you all for joining us on today's Tuesday Talk. Have a wonderful day.